Hey guys, this is a geography definition list for plate tectonics and associated hazards. Definition list. Aftershock. A small earthquake that occurs after a previous large earthquake in the same area. Ash. Dust-sized particles of rock produced by the explosive eruption of some volcanoes. This material may be carried in the air for long distances from the volcano which formed it. Atmosphere. Part of the Earth's mantle lies below the lithosphere, at depths between about 100 and 350 kilometers.
The rock here is relatively soft because of its high temperature and relatively low pressure. This enables it to move in a plastic fashion. It is this layer upon which the tectonic plates move. A batholith. A very large mass of igneous intrusive rock, often granite, that forms from cooled magma deep in the Earth's crust. A composite volcano. Large, steep-sided, symmetrical cone-shaped volcano formed from alternating layers of lava flows, volcanic ash, cinders, and bombs. Conservative plate margin. A type of plate margin where two tectonic plates are moving past one another with no addition or destruction of material. Constructive plate margin. A type of plate margin where new crust is generated as the plates pull away from each other. These are found at the mid-Atlantic oceanic ridges. Continental crust. This is old, low-density rock such as granite. It is generally 35 to 70 kilometers thick and mostly over 1.5 billion years old. Continental drift. A hypothesis proposed by Alfred Wegener that today's continents are the result of the breakup of a single supercontinent, Pangaea. The fragments then drifted to their present positions. Convection current. Currents in the mantle that are the driving force in the movement of the tectonic plates. It is thought that they are initiated by hotspots deep in the mantle. Core. The innermost layers of the Earth. The core comprises of two concentric spheres. The inner core is believed to be made of solid iron and the outer core liquid iron. Crater. A circular depression in the ground by volcanic activity. Crust. The outermost layer of the Earth. Destructive plate margin. A type of plate margin where crust is destroyed as two plates converge. These are usually associated with island arcs or young fold mountains. Dormant. A description of the state of a volcano between eruptions when it gives out very little gas and very little lava. Dikes. Steep, sheet-like intrusions varying in thickness from a few millimeters to tens of meters across. They occupy vertical weaknesses in the rock. They often cut across rock bedding and form low ridges. Epicenter. The point on the Earth's surface directly above the focus of an earthquake. Eruption. This is said to occur when a volcano gives off large quantities of lava and gas. Extinct. The description of a volcano that has not erupted for at least 25,000 years. Extrusive activity. Volcanic activity that results from magma reaching the surface. Fault. A fracture in the Earth's crust that marks the point where two adjacent masses of rock are moving in different directions. Focus. The point below the surface where an earthquake occurs. Geyser. A type of hot spring that erupts periodically, throwing a column of hot water and steam into the air. The potential threat to humans from naturally occurring processes or events. Hot spring. A point where heated groundwater emerges on the Earth's surface. An area deep within the mantle where the temperatures are high enough to initiate convection. They are associated with spreading ridges and isolated chains of volcanic islands found away from plate boundaries. Hawaii is an example of one of these. Igneous rock. A rock formed from the cooling of magma. Intrusive activity. Igneous activity that results from the movement of magma within the crust. Island arc. A destructive plate boundary where oceanic crust is subducted beneath oceanic crust. Lahar. A mud flow composed of pyroclastic material and water that flows down from a volcano, usually along a river valley. Lava. Molten rock that is expelled by a volcano during an eruption. Magma. Molten rock that is found beneath the surface of the Earth. Mantle. The layer of the earth between the core and the crust. Moment magnitude scale. A scale used to measure the size of earthquakes in terms of the energy released. Oceanic crust. The type of crust that underlies ocean basins. It is generally between 5 km and 10 km thick, composed predominantly of basic igneous rock. Ocean trench. A deep depression in the seafloor created at destructive lake boundary. Paleomagnetism. A record of the history of the Earth's magnetic field preserved in magnetic materials in volcanic rocks. Plate tectonics. The theory that states that the Earth's crust is made up of several rigid plates moving relative to one another. Plume. A hot column of magma which rises up from deep within the Earth. Rift Valley. A long deep valley found in the centre of a spreading ridge. It is formed between parallel faults where the block of crust has sunk down. Seafloor spreading. The theory that the ocean floor is moving away from the mid-oceanic ridge and across the deep ocean basin to disappear beneath continents and island arcs. Seismic waves. Shock waves caused by sudden movement along a fault. Shield volcano. A large, low-angled volcano composed of layers of low viscosity basaltic sill. Igneous intrusion between bedding planes of sedimentary rock layers. Subduction.
The process whereby one crustal plate descends below another. This occurs at destructive plate margins. Surface waves. Seismic waves that travel along the surface of the Earth. They include Rayleigh waves and long waves. Tectonic plates. A series of rigid sections of the Earth's crust. They float upon the upper mantle and move relative to one another. Tephra. Any type of rock fragment that is forcibly ejected from a volcano during eruption. Tsunami. A sea wave that can be generated by undersea earthquakes, eruptions, and landslides into the sea. Vent. An opening object in the Earth's surface which allows hot magma, ash, and gas to escape from below the surface. Volcanic bombs. Rocks that are more than 5 mm in diameter that are thrown up into the air by volcanic eruptions. Volcanic Explosive Index, VEI, a scale used to measure the explosiveness of volcanoes. And finally, young-fold mountains. Mountains formed at a destructive plate margin or collision zone. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope it was helpful. I know it was quite a lot of just definition after definition, but it would be hard to put pictures in. These are just basically the definitions that you need to know for the A2 course, and if you don't know them, then you've got a risk of not being able to do a question properly. So just as long as you know those, then you've got a lot more chance of doing well in the exam. Thanks for watching.